Is there a way that we can help Blizzard to balance Overwatch stuff? Let's find out. Hey guys, I'm Damesies from the Omnic Post with an update on Overwatch stuff. On December 6th, Season 2 for Overwatch started. And apart from the comments on the Battle Pass, with competitive issues, expensive skins, and whatnot, Blizzard also got some backlash about the balancing changes in that patch. First off, I discussed the patch notes with an initial update in another video. And as I stated in that video, I feel like the focus was on the wrong heroes. Well, mostly. While most support heroes were begging for some meaningful changes, we were met with a nerf, and with two changes that felt like they were patting us on the head and sending us off to get slaughtered again. And not only that, they also turned one of the tanks into a support killing machine that will, when left unchecked, turn your backline into a preschool classroom that is fresh out of juice boxes. In other words, there will be some screaming, definitely some crying, and someone is bound to poop their pants. Luckily, a few days later, Blizzard came in with a hotfix that, among others, rectified these slaughtering issues. I also made a video on that patch. And while I do appreciate the buff to Ana, it is not the meaningful support change that we are looking for. The thing is, of course, that the task at hand for the hero design team is not an easy one, both in deciding the fate of support players and balancing in general. Now, one could wonder if they have been sleeping on this issue for a little too long, since it has been festering under the surface for years. But now it's out, they pinched the zit, and all we are left with is a smelly pile of goo. I really hope you guys aren't watching this video during dinner or lunch. My point is that Blizzard has been building a game with a growing roster of heroes that players have built a personal connection with, and that can be played in very different ways. Which sounds like a positive thing, and it is overall. Except for the hero balancing team. For them, it's a challenge. They need to match up the expectations of a bronze player and a grandmaster player in one single hero. And they need to make sure that any of them can shine in whatever comp possible. Good luck. On top of that, there's a lot of eyeballs on whatever they are doing, and the leading voices, the professional players and the content creators, will take apart all of the work with a smile on their face. After that, these impressions, both good and bad, will rain down on the lower tiers and be considered the truth, aka the meta. And if you think about it, it doesn't make any sense. First off, not everybody plays this game to min-max the hell out of it. Some people just play it to have fun. And second, bronze players cannot use the same tactics than a grandmaster player. They don't have the same skill set. So the question I've been asking myself is it even possible to balance a game like Overwatch? Well, is it possible to balance it on all tiers? Especially with this roster that keeps expanding and all these different playstyles. Let's look at Sojourn for instance. A few weeks ago she was still too difficult on lower tiers and too powerful on higher tiers. And the last few updates she has been squeezed and pulled in very different directions to find that balancing point. That tipping point, where she for a split second works for everybody. But that might just be a bubble, it might not exist. And one push too many and she'll end up at the bottom of the ranks again. Labeled a throwing pick. But what if? Come a little closer. Still closer, come on. Alright. What if they let us do part of that balancing? But howdy, you crazy old fool. Well, MOBA games, for instance, do have systems where you as a player can balance your hero for a specific situation. League of Legends has runes. Paladins has decks. These are all different ways to change or even enhance your hero according to your own playstyle and the tier that you're playing in. And sure, as with every game there are cookie cutter builds, but usually those are not the same for every situation or every tier. And in the end, it gives players some kind of control over their destiny. On top of that, it adds a lot more depth to the game. The thing is that depth also kind of makes the game less accessible for new players, because there's a lot more to learn. And for experienced players, it is a little less predictable. Part of being a good Overwatch player is knowing what the other players are going to do, what their skill set is, and what their next step might be. The moment you add more options, it becomes a little more difficult to track. Now that all being said, Overwatch 2 is supposed to get a system like that, hopefully somewhere next year. The talent trees. And sure, they are supposed to be PvE only, but I don't see why we can't add talent trees for PvP specifically, separately from the PvE trees. World of Warcraft went back to the old system of talent trees in the most recent expansion, Dragonflight. And that is one of the reasons that some people are enjoying the hell out of that expansion. They like tweaking their character and finding the best options according to their own playstyle. While others that don't play as much or that don't want to put in the time, like myself, go to a website, look for the build that is most appropriate to your situation, copy, paste it, and you're gone. Fine. But even when I copy-paste that build from Icy Veins, I feel like I'm empowering my character. Look, there's a lot to say about PvP talent trees in Overwatch still, both good and bad, and I do understand that some people will not like this idea at all. It's fine. and it brings a different set of challenges for the design team. But I think it might help with the tier issue. It puts some of the choices that we can make in our own hands. And in the end, it gives us players, but also the hero design team, a lot more options to work with. And the way you're designing and testing at the same time. The builds that don't work out will drop to the bottom, which is direct feedback for the design team, at which point they can make some choices to further enhance this talent tree. You know, maybe I'm just shooting at a fly with a cannon, which actually sounds like a lot of fun. But tell me, what do you think about PvP talent trees? Or do you think that they can balance this game without it? Let me know in the comments. Join me during my streams on twitch.tv/DamesIsTV and make sure to subscribe for more updates on Overwatch.